What's up, everybody listening on the radios? This is Sports, Politics, and More, live from New York City. I am your host, Andrew Pollack, joined as always by the wonderful Frank Todaro. Hello, Frank.
Hillary Banks. Hey, Hillary. You know, you look much richer in person.
Hey, Mr. Trump. Hey, how you doing? Will Smith. Hey, listen, you are getting a great house here. And this is quite a deal you're getting for it, too. Look, I'll tell you what. Go on another 50 grand, I'll cut the grass for you every Saturday.
Look, folks, before we go too far, I've got something to tell you.
Excuse me, but I've got something to tell you first. Thank you for ruining my life.
Ashley!
What did you do?
Everybody's always blaming me for everything.
Come on, let's sit down.
All right, welcome to your March 28th, 2018 episode of Spam. Andrew, how are you?
Hi, Frank.
Yes, and that, you didn't know, you couldn't hear that was Trump?
Yeah, that was President. So?
What show was that? Can you tell?
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes, that he made an appearance. Him and him and his ex-wife Marla Maples back in the day. And what did he say? What did he just say, Andrew? He's always getting blamed for something, right?
Everybody's always blaming me for something.
Yes, that was probably a good 20 years ago, maybe even earlier. But Andrew,
that was when Trump was popular. Now people are bashing him 24/7.
He's still popular. It's just that he ruined. I told you, he ruined everybody's plans by winning the election. But anyway, another week of I don't know what happened this week. Andrew, did anything happen this week
besides the media fascinated with the Stormy Daniels 16 Minutes interview? Nothing much has really happened. I mean, it's just the same repetitive news cycle. Trump fires this person. Trump fires that person. Trump. Trump
farted last week.
Who cares? Who gives a shit?
I like the media completely. The mainstream media. Not obsessed, becoming psychotically obsessed with Trump, and it's as I have to say this every week, every episode, Andrew. What do I always say? What have I been saying for the last 8 months? That it's gonna all the late night TV shows are getting boring.
Right, let's face it.
All these news shows who have ridden the Trump train for ratings and website traffic.
Well, website trash meaning so many fake news websites are out there. There are so many of them out there. You just have to, be careful of what you click on. And Frank is not there. Something must have happened to him, so I'm going to have to continue the show by myself, and I'm probably going to have to check my phone here and see if we're even live on the air at the moment. But I'll quickly go by myself and saying, if you read the book, The True Story of Fake News by Mark Dice, and Frank would love this point if he's even listening, the whole point about...
Andrew, can you hear me?
Yeah, Frank, what happened?
I don't know. My mic keeps going out. Hold on.
All right, well, I'll just let the audience hear my point.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I don't know why it keeps going out. I'm not sure. What were you saying, Andrew?
I was just about to say is that if you look at the beginning of the book, The True Story of Fake News, Mark talks about how in 2016 these similar news sites have different IP addresses, and they were making up all these fake stories about Trump and Clinton.
Yeah, it's called clickbait.
And it's still going on today, unfortunately. In fact, let me tell you what's on the front page of the Drudge Report right now. As soon as we pull the damn thing up, guess what comes up on the Drudge Report? Clash of Tritons. We're going to talk about Facebook now.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about it too, Andrew, later on in the news at 8:30. You mentioned that book, Fake News by Mark Dice. You bought that book?
I'm trying to get into it.
Oh, did you buy it?
Yes.
How is it so far?
So far, it's really in-depth.
It's informative?
Yes, he talks about how we're all robots, and we need to stop believing the real news, the lamestream cycle.
Right. Yeah, like just the other day, I posted a meme on Facebook on my page. It was it had four pictures, and it says 2 months ago it was, oh my God, repealing net neutrality will silence us. 1 month ago, oh my God, North Korea is going to bomb us. This month it is, oh my God, guns are going to kill us. And I'm here like, oh my God, what will the TV tell them to be bad at next? It's so true. I keep saying this all the time. But getting back to my point, Andrew, of what I've been saying is, it's been, I said psychotically obsessive. I mean, you talk about overkill.
It is overkill. It's so repetitive.
Right. What's more? I wish I was smart enough to know the word to describe above overkill. Like I don't understand. And
I wouldn't know either, honestly. I wouldn't give you an answer.
I'm saying, but just these late night shows, these cable.
Oh, come on! I don't even like Trevor Noah.
Right. I'm saying at this point, I mean, now, if before the election, these media outlets were intended to change your votes and persuade you to vote for Hillary by trashing Trump. Now they're intended to completely bury Trump even more, so that way you won't vote for him in 2020. I mean, we're still a long way there. I mean, they have come up with every story, A to Z, A to the Z about Trump. Now that at least for another week, the Russia thing is dead again. Mueller.
Come on! Who cares about that?
I know. It's been. Listen, Andrew, how many months have I been saying it's fake? How many?
I'm sick and tired of just talking about it. I want to end this discussion about Trump-Russia possible collusion already.
Listen, Andrew,
it is annoying.
Andrew, you're not the only one. But I've been saying, and you've been saying on the show, since last spring. I played on this show. I played the Senate hearings with James Comey testifying to the Senate. They asked him, "Is President Trump under investigation?" Comey said no. They asked him, "Has Trump been under investigation?" Comey said no. This was last March. This was a year ago. So if you actually had half a brain and watched those Senate committee hearings last March, it was then and there that it should have been put to rest. This is all the news is just garbage. But anyway, speaking of the news, last night, Andrew, on TV, a big moment in TV history again.
Oh yeah, Roseanne.
Yes, Roseanne.
18 million, including me. I DVR'd it, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, Roseanne.
Did you watch it last night?
No. The 80s and 90s Roseanne Barr show. They rebooted it, and it's back again for another season. And wow, it did. Like Andrew said, 18 million viewers. And what is it? What just that number alone? What does that? And now, hold on. I'm sorry, because I don't know. Maybe a lot of people did used to watch that show when it was on originally, and they liked it. But now the spin is that. Roseanne, she has come back. The family, the Connors, are now open Trump supporters. Yeah, they're Trump supporters. So it's a very rare thing on TV.
Yeah, it's very rare. I mean, how in the world does that even happen?
It's what you call it. It shouldn't even. Look, hold on. This is we'll talk more about it on the news. This just shows you that there's a massive audience out there looking for new programming, old programming that people of what they used to watch. You know, today you can't sit down and watch a TV show or a movie without being bombarded with propaganda and messages, social justice messages, and it's just disgusting.
Oh, you mean with social justice warriors?
Yeah,
They're always on TV all the time. I mean,
Every TV
you
show.
want to have something neutral at least.
Right, every TV show now, the one of the main characters has to be LGBTQ, transgender, pansexual, autistic. The parents, both two dads. One has to be black, one has to be white, or it has to be an all-female cast. I mean, give me a break. That's not a reflection of the real world.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone's autistic.
Forget that's a medical condition. I'm talking about social. Listen.
Oh, you mean with the LGBT community?
Yeah, everything. The transgender, diversity.
The tranny queens.
Yeah. We have
That's what Tommy Lahren calls them.
Right. We have to have shows with 6-year-olds with dressed in drag.
Oh my God! Look at her.
It's fucking sick.
I know.
It's child abuse.
It is. What the fuck has Hollywood done to the world? I mean,
what are they gonna come out with next? They're gonna have little kids playing with dildos.
Oh, I don't even want to. Frank.
Well,
Mark Geist has said this clearly. Generation Z is screwed.
Listen, it's getting that way too. They're already pushing. These sickos are already trying to push pedophilia as being just a mental condition, a mental condition, and that it's okay. You have to accept this. People fighting through a mental condition, like they're fighting through a bad case of anxiety.
Oh yes.
Now
this is crazy.
It's fucking bullshit. It's flat out trying to change norms. It's trying to change. It's trying to undermine the values of humanity, and it's all.
Hey Frank, you know what's crazy?
What?
They now classify people who were born in 1995 as someone who's in Generation Z.
Yeah, you're a millennial. If you're born in 1995 or after, you are in Generation Z, or you're considered a millennial.
Right. But you're in Generation X, so.
Yeah. So what's your point?
I sort of love Generation X.
It was okay. And then they had Generation Y, and but this generation, I don't know. It just seems like.
Oh, Generation Z is completely screwed.
Well, you would think the one thing looking back in history that you're gonna look back on this the millennials and this Generation Z is this is the generation that pretty much grew up with the internet.
Oh yeah, I mean, I really didn't grow up with the internet that much until I was like maybe 10 or 11 years old, maybe 8.
But I'm saying this, because in 1985, I guess that's when the internet really launched. Like where I remember.
I still think 1998 was the turning point of the internet.
No. In 1985, people I remember. In 1985, 1986, people would subscribe to AOL, America Online, and there was chat rooms. I remember. I remember my friends.
I still remember AIM.
Yeah, but you had to pay like by the hour, or by you would have to buy a subscription. You would have to pay just to be online. It was crazy.
That was ridiculous.
And they used to just have chat rooms, like different chat rooms, and you go into these chat rooms and you just have you could message people, and that was the very, very beginnings of the internet. But now my point was, Andrew, is you would think with the internet that people would be so much smarter because we have so much information.
But we're so dumb.
Well, yeah, I think it's having a reverse effect on a lot of people because
it's like idiocracy. They said, "Oh, the technology is supposed to make us smarter." Well, in reality, we are becoming dumber, and we are putting our egos first. It's crazy.
No, yeah,
I'm just so annoyed about this.
But I think just like people today, a lot of people, it's like whatever's on the internet or whatever's on social media, people accept it. And listen, listen. I know there's a lot of people out there that are going, "Oh my God, how could people do that? Are they fucking stupid?" Yes, they are, and a lot of people are just ignorant and don't know any better. Not everybody is woke. A lot of people just are ignorant. They just take. A lot of people mistakenly take things at face value. They never question things. They just assume because they see something, words on a nice display, and with the name of the media company, being familiar, it must be valid, or they trust it. I mean, the other day.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Frank?
Yeah, speaking of memes, I was on Facebook, and somebody posted a meme, right, with Mike Pence's picture, and it said something like, I forgot what it said. It said about if you encourage abortions. This is what was written on the meme. It said if you encourage abortions, then you encourage the raping of girls. It was so stupid, and it was obviously just like it was fake, and you had to see
fake news. And
you had to see how many people were commenting on this post, and they were getting outraged, saying, "Oh, Mike Pence is an idiot."
Oh, Mike Pence. Well, first of all, I think Mike Pence is an extremist.
Andrew, please, I got a headache. I'm talking about the meme. I'm talking about fake news that people can't immediately read something. Read how ludicrous what they're reading is ludicrous, and say this can't be real. Instead, it's the other way. People comment and say and become outraged at the words they're reading, not even for a second saying, "Hey, wait a minute, maybe this is fake. Maybe this is just a joke." No,
and they get easily offended.
Yeah, and then, right. If you try to correct them, then they get defensive and they think you're trying to hide something or you're sticking up for something. But it's just ridiculous.
Well, this is the most popular meme in the world right now, in case anybody's wondering.
I'm the Globglow Gamgala. I love books, and this basement is a true treasure trove.
I think you might know what this is, Frank.
I am the Globglow Gamgala, the Schwabble Double Wobble Gobble Flavored.
This is the most popular meme in the world right now.
What is that? Keep playing it.
You don't know what this is?
No, keep playing it.
Oh, let me rewind it. I'll play the whole thing. It's only a minute.
I am the Globglow Gamgala, the Schwabble Double Wobble Gobble Flavored blah blah blah. I'm full of schwibble glibber kind. I am the yeast of thoughts and mind. Schwabble Double Glibber Glabber Schwibble Schwab Glab. Dibble Double Schwibble Schwabble Glibber Glab Schwab. Schwabble Double Glibber Glabber Schwibble Schwab Dab. Dibble Double Schwibble Schwabble Glibber Schwab Glab. Oh, splendid. Simply delicious. I am the Globglow Gamgala, the Schwabble Double Wobble Gobble Flibber blah blah blah.
All right, that's enough, Andrew. That's enough.
I'm gonna actually do this on my YouTube channel.
Andrew doesn't know what. So he's like one too many. Andrew, what is that? Explain that. What is that meme that you were playing?
Oh, okay. So this is just basically a fictional character called the Globglow Gamgala, and basically, he's
slow down. Hold on. Slow down. Say it again. Say it slow and clearly. The what?
I can't stop laughing. It's so embarrassing to even talk about this guy. Okay. So, this character is from a Christian movie called Stravinsky in the Mystery House. And most recently, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I've even lost track because the memes are all over the place. So I'm a big meme follower, so I keep an eye on this stuff. So this character called Frank, I'm going to say it slowly now, okay? Frank. I'll remind myself. The character's name is called the Globglow Gamgala. All right, and he's voiced by some British actor named Tony something, which I forget at the moment. But anyhow. This character has become so popular on the internet. Every meme channel I can think of, Cats 12, Grandy, you name it. This meme is all over the place. And there's even new meme channels that are starting on YouTube because of this. And it's just crazy to think that, well, how could one meme become so popular? Well, Frank's point is that, people take memes seriously and they laugh it off, or they think it's stupid. Well, I'm going to be honest. I'm a big meme guy, all right? I thought last year was good with all the creativity we had, but this year, I got to admit, that the spaghetti one, the number 15 Burger King foot lettuce, what else is it? I mean, I've lost so much track of the memes this year. They're definitely better than last year. And if they're making Mike Pence ones, okay, fine. It's freedom of speech, the First Amendment. But you have to dig deeper into the meme. All right, now Frank's having technical difficulties.
Andrew,
Frank,
you're having technical difficulties.
what's going on with your mic?
I don't know. You're having technical difficulties, I think. My mic's fine.
And what's wrong with yours?
I don't know. Anyway, let's move. We got to move on, Andrew. You were blabbering. Anyway,
blabbering.
Yeah.
Hey, I was making a smart point.
Okay, very good. All right, listen.
Can we talk about the movie that we're supposed to review this week?
Yes, at 8:30 we'll have the news, and like I said, me and Andrew, last few weeks we've been making it a somewhat regular segments here on Spam. We've been doing 80s movies review. What movie did we review last week, Andrew? Do you remember?
Wasn't it a baseball movie?
Yes, it was The Natural, starring Robert Redford.
I'm just trying to fast forward to my favorite part of the movie. That's why. So
yeah. Anyway, so Andrew selected Better Off Dead, a 1980s movie starring John Cusack. Andrew, what's the synopsis? What was so good about this movie that you liked?
Well, in case anybody who doesn't know who John Cusack is,
they know who John Cusack is. Talk about the movie.
Well, John Cusack later on in his career ended up starring in a movie called Say Anything. But this is one of his earliest films that are underappreciated, in my opinion.
It's an old movie from 1985.
Yes, you are correct, Frank. The same year Back to the Future came out. So anyhow, Better Off Dead is about a guy, played by John Cusack, who has a girlfriend and he's addicted to her, and the girl's going to dump him. She dumps him because he can't do the ski race, and basically he wants to kill himself. That's why the movie is called Better Off Dead.
So he's depressed. All right, so we'll play a little clip, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, hold on.
All right.
This is the Christmas.
Hey, it's Christmas. I was thinking maybe me and you could. No, we didn't open our presents yet. You did. The cutest thing ever. From Roy. A giant teddy bear bigger than you. Sounds great. No, it really does sound good. Look, Beth, I gotta go. The Christmas tree's on fire.
Christmas. This movie came out fun.
Now, open this one next. I remembered how much you like the chocolate nut brownie in this one. And look, corn and seasoned sauce. He likes corn.
Now, come on, Ricky, don't be shy. Give me a present. Come on, give me a present. Come on. Let's see. That's a Christmas present.
From Santa Claus.
You have Christmas in France?
Yes, he does.
Christmas.
By the way,
Christmas. It's from Ricky. You can take that wherever you go to always remember your trip to the United States.
come you're so small?
Now, everyone's going to be wearing one of these this year.
What have you done?
It's real art.
Oh, he's in a car and he wants to kill himself.
Well, honey, it's sure warm.
Now for the best part. Oh, the hood.
All right. So the whole part of this.
Yeah, we don't need to play the rest. Trust me. Just go on YouTube and look it up.
Right. I'm trying. I played it to segue. So the John Cusack's character Lane, it's a typical. He's your '80s slacker. He's all rejected because his girl Beth rejects him, and now he becomes so depressed that he becomes suicidal. What's the whole thing about it? What's the thing about his car, Andrew? His Camaro.
Basically, he's trying to get it repaired. Oh, here's my favorite scene. Just watch this. Just listen. The Asian guys. Just listen.
It's an awesome spectacle, an audacious display of seething opponents, once again parallel in an obstinate attempt to prove superiority of the roads, unequal in our lifetime. The crowd swelled with anticipation as the lights turn green.
I love those Asian guys. They're funny.
Yes, they're always good for a cheap laugh, Andrew.
And you know how one learned English from the Wonderful World of Sports?
Yes, with Howard Cosell. So Andrew, would you say that was one of the best movies of the '80s, or that was just one of those movies that went under the radar and then eventually got better with time?
I think it's the second one.
Yeah. It's always good. Like movies and songs, more movies. Sometimes during the present in real time, a lot of movies. So especially now today, so many movies are coming out every week, and it's impossible to watch every single movie. And just even back then, and eventually years later, these movies revive themselves. The audience rediscovers them, and they become cult classics. But John Cusack was a staple of these '80s cult classic movies. And I guess is he like banned from Hollywood now? Like, did he mess up? Did he do something bad?
I don't remember what he did.
I don't know. I think maybe he did too much cocaine. I don't know.
Snort some coke.
I don't know. No. I don't know. It probably had to do with that. He's probably conservative. So that's a good segue, Andrew, to the news.
Oh, time for the news already?
Yes, it's 8:30.
Wow, that went quick. All right, let me put the sound on. 8:30. Yay!
Yes. So, Andrew, very good, Andrew. So, as we talked about at the top of the hour, last night on ABC, the revival of Roseanne premiered to massive ratings on Tuesday night.
Yes. Still developing this hour. Roseanne becomes a classic hit.
Yes. The show delivered 18.2 million viewers, along with an equally impressive 5.1 share among the 18 to 49 demographic. Andrew. So this is huge. So with TV, with a lot of TV networks and TV shows struggling and desperate for ratings, which I think is because they have forced narratives on the audience that doesn't match real life. Listen, just like the election, right? When we saw the election in New York, states like New York and California voted blue for Hillary.
That didn't surprise me,
right?
Because there's a lot of liberals in the state.
Right, states like New York and California are heavily populated. Probably 50 million people. Probably 50 million people between both states. But the thing is, New York did control the media. When they say New York is the biggest media market, and so
it is. In my opinion, it still is.
Yeah, well, maybe yes, but California, specifically San Francisco, they are now everything we watch, see, and hear comes through the filter of San Francisco. They are
San Francisco. The illegal aliens are all over the place. Right.
So they're the new Madison Avenue, as they used to say. So
what?
Yeah. So everything we see on TV, everything we hear, it's got all these just progressive, just whacked out far left narratives. So now when you get a show like this, what was the other show that ABC had that canceled it with Tim Allen? What was that? I forgot that show.
I forget the name of it.
A couple years, I think it was like last year. Tim Allen, who used to have.
If I Google Tim Allen cancel, let me see what comes up.
Yeah. Tim Allen, who used to have a big hit in the '90s on ABC, Home Improvement.
Last Man Standing. That's the name of it.
Last Man Standing, who was also a conservative slanted show, and it was a comedy. And it was doing great ratings, and they abruptly canceled it for no reason.
The reviews are looking good for this.
Right. And many at the time cited that ABC canceled Last Man Standing because of its conservative
background.
Right.
Frank, let me ask you a question. Did you watch this last night or no?
No, I haven't had a chance to watch it, and it's funny because I think I told you a few weeks ago I became somewhat friends with Becky, the girl, Lisi.
Yeah. What about Becky?
I just told you. I said I used to be.
You were friends with her, yeah?
Yeah. So it's funny. When I became friends with her, Roseanne was off the air. Now she's back on it, and it was just weird watching her. After I had actually hung out with her. But the show last night, it's a breath of fresh air. Okay.
I'm glad they brought it back. It's about time.
Right, but I'm saying, what if the Roseanne last night would have done terrible ratings?
No, then Roseanne Barr would be freaking out right now.
No, but it didn't. But the whole point of this is shows like this with another viewpoint. People are dying for it. The market is dying for it.
The original Roseanne ended in 1997.
Right, and that show, the original series, the first time around, that series became so popular because it was progressive and groundbreaking at the time. It was the first show that dealt with teen losing their virginity. It dealt with LGBTQ at the time. It dealt with a lot of stuff that was taboo. And now they're considered taboo again because only this time the Connors are Trump supporters. You have to read some of the articles. The controversial show. Why? Because they support they support the president. That's controversial. Are you kidding me?
You know what's crazy? Roseanne Barr used to be with the Green Party.
Yeah. Well, listen. People could change their political views, but anyway. So according to ABC, this is the highest rated comedy telecast on any network in nearly 40 years.
I'm happy John Goodman got to go back on the air. Yes. I like John Goodman.
I like him too. So
let's speak of Monsters Inc. Remember that movie?
Yes. This was the biggest premiere, Andrew, since CBS premiere episode of CBS The Big Bang Theory from 2014, and it was even bigger than NBC's mega hit This Is Us. During any of its regular
schedule. Do you say it's bigger than Friends or
Seinfeld? Andrew, we're talking about the debut, the first episode. That's all we're talking about. It's only one episode.
Oh, okay. Because I'm just double checking here. I don't want to say, this is bigger than Seinfeld or Friends.
No. Andrew, we're talking about the ratings for one episode.
Oh.
That's all we're talking about. We're not talking about how the series.
Ugh.
So in the adult demo, It also blew away 60 Minutes episode which featured the interview with Stormy Daniels. Roseanne's return was actually higher among the total viewers than its 1997 finale 21 years ago. So, I mean, the first episode, of course, it's nostalgic. You're going to have a lot of people who used to watch the show tune in again.
My mom.
Right. And then you're going to have other people that who never saw the show but are dying to see it.
Well, I've seen a few reruns from time to time before I heard about the reboot.
Right, but it's hard. It's hard for somebody like you to go and watch random reruns. You would have to binge watch just to understand and get a feel for them.
To be honest, I get a more feel of the reruns of Seinfeld and Friends. Just saying.
All right, well maybe that's it's because it's a little simpler shows. And you just understand better.
Yeah, Seinfeld's more simple. Like Seinfeld just tells you what's going to happen, and then they go right into the episode.
Right. Well, the thing with the Roseanne show was the Connors. They were middle America. They were your average Joe and Jane parents. You know, they had a lot of They had problems. They worked. They had financial problems, just like a lot of people in America today. Okay.
Yeah, well, my taxes keep going up thanks to my wonderful mayor.
Right. Well, see, that's...
Oh, you're a wonderful mayor, too, because you live in the city, so...
Right.
We both live in New York City.
But this is just... Andrew, I think you're missing the point. And I think it's
Roseanne and Dan Connor, your average American family.
I think it's going over your head, and maybe anybody who was covering this, it's going over the head how this could have a significant impact on TV programming and media programming going forward. I mean, listen, if you are in the business of creating TV shows or making movies. If you see something like this, Roseanne, which is going the other way, and they're getting tremendous ratings, guess what? You're going to start seeing a lot. Logic dictates that you're going to start seeing a lot of the same shows. New TV series are going to be the same. So I don't know if, just like Roseanne had a cultural impact in the 80s and 90s, maybe it could do the same again here in the late 2010s. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
But my whole point is, Andrew, this is making a dent and an impact on the extremely oversaturated far left media. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, the far left is just desperate for their point of view to be on their shows, and this is what happens. Isn't This Is Us based on liberals by any chance?
Probably, but Andrew, every week we cover the Academy Awards, we cover the Oscars.
That was
right.
And you know what's crazy? Did you see Mike Francesa on High Heat today?
No, Andrew, no, I don't want to talk about Mike Francesa.
Well, he said Kimmel was terrible. Yeah, he said it from his own mouth.
Right, because Roseanne was on. Jimmy Kimmel had Roseanne on, and Roseanne pretty much said what a lot of the American audience had on their minds. And they said that the facts are just out of their minds, and they've run amok.
Oh, they need to stop. They need to stop.
And let me tell you,
you know who's worse? Pelosi. I don't like her.
All right, you're a little off kilter tonight. I don't know what's going on with you. But anyway,
what do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know what I mean. But anyway, that's that. So moving on along. Now that Amazon has become pretty much Amazon. Are you familiar with Amazon, Andrew? Have you ever shopped on Amazon?
Of course, I've shopped on Amazon.
All right. Well, Amazon has just become just a huge conglomerate. I mean,
Frank, I don't see anything about Amazon the teleprompter.
I know. I'm talking about it. I don't have to keep. I don't have to read word for word, Andrew. I'm talking about Amazon.
All right. So, what does Amazon have to do with the world?
I'll explain. Jeff Bezos, who's the CEO, he is now the richest man in the world And Trump today, I read, is trying to go after them, and he's under the guise of antitrust laws, meaning that Amazon is becoming a monopoly. Okay, and they're going to have to probably, if it goes to court and they win, they'll break up Amazon into 2 or 3 smaller companies, just like they did with Microsoft in the 90s.
So what you're saying is they want to become a small conglomerate.
No, they don't want to become a small conglomerate. The government, antitrust is when one company becomes so big that nobody can...
Like Amazon.
Right, they become a monopoly. Nobody could compete with them, and that's where the antitrust laws come in, where the in the 90s when Microsoft came out, Bill Gates became the richest man, almost the richest man in the world, I think at the time. Well, the richest American. He was worth like $78 billion. Because
people were starting to learn about Windows,
right?
And they had that whole Jennifer Aniston thing from Friends when she was addicted to it. Remember that?
Right, but I'm saying in the 90s when Windows came out and everybody started buying computers, you had to get Windows. You had no other choice. You understand? It's a monopoly. You have to have other options. One company can't just dominate everything. I'm sorry. Here, I'm reading.
Well, there's Apple.
Well, yeah, now, but I'm saying Bill Gates. I'm talking about operating systems. And Bill Gates, I'm sorry, at the time it read he was worth $92 billion, and Bill Clinton at the time he went after them, and Microsoft had to break up into smaller companies, sub-companies, and Bill Gates lost half his net value. But, I mean, he doesn't care because he knew he was going to make it back. But Amazon now, Jeff Bezos, Andrew, you see Amazon, you see like Jeff Bezos, like when they're becoming so big.
Jeff Bezos is such a power hog.
Right. He bought the Washington Post. He's going to buy this. He bought out Whole Foods. They're gonna.
I remember he did that.
Yeah. They become so big, they're going to become so powerful, and that's when you have to do. It's called trust busting, just like the old.
Isn't eBay competition? Like eBay has to be competition.
Yeah, but is it fair?
I'm sure eBay is still popular.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's when do other companies have the same opportunities as Amazon? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, yeah, because Amazon's one whole big thing.
Right. So, I mean, Amazon's getting so big. Eventually, if they keep going, they just might buy up eBay. You understand?
Oh.
Yes, that's why that's what I meant. But anyway, moving along with more mega corporation
bullshit.
Listen, these today when we see these companies and corporations, they are bigger than some nations in the world.
Like the Corporation for Public Broadcasting,
right? Amazon is so huge
because they're my mortal enemy.
They have more money than some than nations have their economy. Apple is also another huge company. Facebook. Did you read that the other day, Andrew? Facebook.
The whole Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg is such a hack. He's a
hack. Yeah, he's gonna be worth $1 trillion one day. I want to be a hack like him. But Facebook was caught. It was revealed that they were collecting data that Facebook users didn't even know, like your phone calls, everything, your text messages. I actually went on Facebook the other day, right? And there's a way you could download a copy of your of all your information that Facebook collects. And what you do is
why is Facebook doing this?
Originally they said they would never do that, but they do. That's what Facebook in reality is. Facebook is a data mining site, a data mining app. All the shit that you post and texting, that it's meaningless. It's all about advertising and collecting data and information on its users and then selling them to third parties. So what you could do is you go to the settings, and I believe I did it the other day. There's a way to do it where you could download all your information. And I looked, and it even had Facebook had collected all my contacts from my phone. I looked through the list. It had contacts from 7-8 years ago that I no longer have on my phone. So in other words, even if you delete information, they still keep it on file. That's how crazy it is.
What the hell?
Yeah, and
damn it, Mark Zuckerberg, you don't deserve to be making $62 billion a year.
And do you ever see these apps on Facebook about where you put your face on it and it changes your face onto a magazine? You ever see those things?
I've done that once. Why?
Yeah, well, you shouldn't, because that is a tool to collect information on facial recognition.
Ugh.
Hold on.
I want to throw up almost. Folks, Facebook is killing me right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, and if you do not go to your settings and turn it off, every time you take a photo...
Right, how do I get their settings, and then what do I do?
Go to settings, right?
Yeah.
And then on the left, you'll go scroll down, and you'll see facial recognition.
Oh, I see face recognition.
And then edit, and it asks you, do you want Facebook to be able to recognize you in photos and videos, and set it to no.
Oh, okay. I will do that right now. Here I go.
Because, listen, I'll tell the audience, and people say, oh, why is this a big deal? Because this is going to be the next technology. There's going to be facial recognition technology everywhere. They already have I read an article before about they are going to put cameras at crosswalks, and people who jaywalk are going to get ticketed because of the facial recognition technology. I mean, anywhere you go, your face could be recognized.
Holy crap! Ah!
What's the matter?
I don't want that happening.
Well, then I suggest you start off with not turning that setting off.
Yes, I just did that on my Facebook.
Okay, but very quickly, going back to the Apple article, Apple's Tim Cook rebukes Zuckerberg over Facebook's business model. Tim Cook, Apple's chief executive, issued a harsh rebuke of Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook's business model on Wednesday, saying that the detailed profiles of individuals compiled by internet platforms should not exist. Are you ready? This is all the Facebook and Google have on you. God damn it!
What happened?
I'm still sick and my throat's scratching up. So
yeah, I can tell you don't sound well tonight.
Anyway, Cook said we could make a ton of money if we monetize our customers. If our customers were ever our product, he said during an interview with Recode and MSNBC that's going to air on April 6th. We've elected not to do that. We're not going to traffic in your personal life. Privacy to us is a human right, a civil liberty. Cook also said that it's past time to regulate Facebook. I think the best regulation is no regulation. It's self-regulation. However, I think we're beyond that. The comment echoed remarks Cook made in Beijing last week when he said, I think that this was certain situation so dire and has become so large that probably some well-crafted regulations necessary. Yeah. So these Facebook apps like Facebook and Twitter, they should be regulated as utilities.
Oh, no question.
What's that?
No question. I mean, you're basically going to violate our privacy by saying, oh, well, we want to do this so that way we can bother you later on.
Right.
If you get caught doing something bad, it's going to haunt you for the rest of your life.
But what I suggest...
Trust me, I don't want Facebook doing this, okay? If I am jaywalking in Manhattan, I do not want them doing that.
Right. Well, it's going to... the police are going to use facial recognition too. But anyway, what everybody... If anybody's listening to the audience... Anytime you download an app and install an app, make sure you read the terms of agreement. I mean, some people just click yes, I accept, and they never read the terms of agreement. They could be signing away their life and they'll never read it. You have to read the terms of the agreement.
Oh, that explains the South Park episode then.
Yeah, you could basically be signing away your life. But anyway,
I think that's what South Park was trying to teach us.
Yes. All right, anyway, what you called? So Facebook has received a deluge of criticism in the wake of the observers reporting that the personal information of 50 million American users was used by the electioneering firm Cambridge Analytica. So, and hence this is the.
Oh, I know who Cambridge Analytica is.
Yes, if you've been following the news, you've probably heard of the Cambridge Analytica scandal. This is what it is. Cook sounding the alarm on mass data collection by Facebook and Google for years. The executive has long pointed out to the distinction between Apple's business model, selling products to customers for a profit, and that of internet platforms that are gobbling up everything they can learn about you and trying to monetize it. So that's what I said. Data mining. You hear what I'm saying? Data mining. That's all. Information is money. Andrew, do you ever go to CVS?
CVS?
Yeah, pharmacy.
I have a friend who works for CVS. Wow.
I didn't ask you that. I said, do you ever go there? Do you ever shop there?
Usually with my parents, yes,
Okay.
and I have a friend who works there.
And when you go to the cashier, what do they ask you to do? What's the first thing they ask you to do? What is the first thing they ask you?
Normally, they ask me to give them the items.
And then what?
And then after, when they're done scanning, they ask you for cash or credit.
They never ask you. They never ask you if you have your card, your CVS card.
Oh yeah, they ask that
right.
Right before they even scan your items.
So that's what I said. I said, what's the first thing they ask you?
Oh, that's normal policy. My friend told me that.
Right, but why is it so important?
Because they're trying to help you save money.
No, they're recording. They're recording everything you buy.
Oh, I was just going to say, aren't they like tracking what you're going to purchase?
Yes, they track everything you purchase.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that's what it is. And they sell that information to Wall Street, and it's insider trading. It's insider trading. It's insider info. This information is sold to companies on Wall Street who have analytics on what people buy, when they buy it, where they buy it.
Shouldn't that be illegal?
It is, but technically it's not. There's loopholes. So this is why when you go to CVS or Rite Aid or anything, and they ask you for your.
Oh, by the way, all the Rite Aids are going to become Walgreens now. Did you hear about that?
Oh, Walgreens is going to buy them.
Yeah, that's what my dad told me.
Whatever. Walgreens, they were big, I think, in the 80s and 90s. Who knows? It's always the same shit. But anyway. Getting back to this, today is all about information, collecting information, storing information. So if you went to your local CVS or Rite Aid or wherever you want,
it won't be Rite Aid, it will be Walgreens.
Whatever. And every time you scan your little card there, it's not to help you save money. What? Well, how much money did it save you? $2 in the last 6 months? It's all about collecting information. Anyway, we'll move along.
We only have like 6 minutes.
Whatever.
Let's talk about Stormy Daniels.
No.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about Trump. A poll revealed that a majority of Americans say they are not seeing a change, that they are not seeing President Trump's tax cuts reflected in their paychecks. CNBC All-America Economic Survey found 52% of working adults said they haven't seen a change yet. Just 32% of the working adults reported taking home more money due to tax cuts, which Trump signed into law last year. Of those saying they're taking home more money, 38% say that the extra pay they received helped them a great deal or a fair amount. 40% said that the extra pay helped some or just a little, and 22% reported that the extra pay didn't help that much at all. The poll was conducted from March 7th to 20th. Among 800 Americans, of which 60% were working adults. The margin of error is 3.5. Now, I mean, see, you just heard that. Oh, this was a poll. This is a 3-day poll conducted among 800 Americans. And if you read the title, a majority of Americans say they are not seeing change. No, it's a fake. This is fake.
Fake news. Wait, fake news. Fake news.
It's a small sample. So they
fake
sample.
News.
They sampled
fake news.
800 out of 370 million people, and they said the majority of Americans. No, I'm sorry, you can't go on that just by a small sample. It's ridiculous. See what I mean? And Andrew, as we close up,
that's the fake news.
Yes, as we close up here, a little kooky story. Did you read? There was a chicken who has survived 9 days after having its head cut off or bitten off.
That's
yeah. If you go, just Google, the chicken has survived for 9 days. And pictures appear to show a chicken with only a bloodied stump where its head used to be. Yet some way it's still standing up. You have to see this. It's a chicken. It's a chicken. The chicken's head is completely off.
Oh, the chicken without a head, literally.
Yeah. A veterinarian, Supakati Aaron Tung, is reportedly caring for the bird by dropping food down its neck and giving it antibiotics. She says it seems tame and eats well, and was quoted as saying, "The animal has its life. If it wants to live, we feed it." I mean, this is ridiculous. The bloody stump sits where the animal's head should be, but she fears its tongue will soon fall off as it dries out. It was not clear how the chicken came to lose its head, but locals say it may have been attacked by other animals. That's crazy. I wish some people I know would lose their head.
Well, I wish the Blasio would.
Yes, local media claimed it is at least 7 days since it lost its head. Veteran Supakati said she was hoping someone would soon take the chicken off her hands. Oh yeah, that's what I think I'll do this weekend. I'll go and adopt a headless chicken.
This weekend I'm going to be in Maryland.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I much have better things to do than.
I'm not adopting headless chickens. She said, "Who will take care of him? He will need lifelong care. I have to admit that the chicken is a true warrior with a tough heart." Yeah, I'm going to adopt a chicken and pour food down its throat every week. A chicken without a head. The fuck out of here.
Get out of here with that.
This is crazy. But Andrew, so I guess we've made it through another episode.
Oh, the show's ended. The prompter just scrolled right to the bottom of the screen already.
Yes, thank God. Anyway, we'll be back next week with more.
I don't know if I will be.
Okay, well, maybe we'll see. Maybe I'm leaving
to go back to New York on Thursday. So
okay, maybe
Wednesday night.
So that's good to know. Maybe next week I'll bring in a guest who I've been talking about a little bit, and I've had conversations with him. But anyway, next week, a Wednesday live, 8 p.m. on UCY TV, another episode of Spam.
Yes, at EAZZ34 for Frank. I am at Andy's Randomness.
Okay, everybody, good night. God bless, and be safe.
Yes. Just remember, everyone, tell Pelosi.
Do you want to build a wall?